Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to today's Crypto Blast. It is Monday, the 7th of July, all day. You join me and Cam from Institutional Fi, where Cam will be giving us a rapid roundup of the latest pricing flows and market moving news in crypto markets. But before he does, let's get the legals out of the way. So as usual, nothing discussed on the spaces session constitute trading or investment advice or infers any kind of endorsement by PIQ, Institutional Fi, myself, Ryan Paisley, or indeed Cam. Cam, how are you? Oh, he seems to have dropped off. He's declined the invite. 1 second. Let's see what happens. Let's get him back. Let's wait for him to join. There he is. Oh, he's requesting. Let's see that. Right. Hello, Cam.
It seems as Elon's turned his attention away from X once again.
Yeah, indeed. What's been occurring, my friend?
Yeah, not too much. I'm joking. There's actually lots happening. How are you, Brian? You okay?
I'm very good, mate. I'm very good.
Good. Awesome. Let's crack into it. It's Monday. There's a long week ahead of us. So let's start off by a little recap of what's happened over the weekend. So Friday was, of course, July 4th, a national holiday in the US, and just in case you weren't aware, the stock market was closed, and subsequently there was a dramatic decrease in volume traded in the crypto sector as well. With the low volume came high volatility, and BTC saw a drawdown of around 2.5%. But, as we highlighted last week, it's a good reminder that though this meant that at the low end on Friday, BTC was trading at around $107,300. A significant number if you've been in the industry for a while. The fact that BTC is just holding strong over $100,000, well, comfortably above $100,000 is still amazing to see. And the fact that 2.5% decrease meant that it was still sat at 107,000 is awesome. I like to highlight that factor. We don't want to seem all negative.
No, exactly.
The sell pressure, exactly. You need to celebrate these wins as well.
Yep.
The sell pressure stopped on Friday as it came to a close, and since then BTC tested Wednesday's high of around $109,700. But as we get closer to the US session being open, we're starting to see some short-term selling pressure come into play. There's an interesting note that I found that this week we'll likely see traders return to their desks because it's the first full trading week since the start of Q3. So I imagine holidays are over for traders. And it's time to lock in and get focused on where we want to end up at the end of this quarter. On the macro front, as BTC's nearing $110,000, we're seeing volumes drying up across all exchanges. The vast majority of exchanges. Spot volume sits at just $5 billion, and futures volume, again across multiple exchanges, the majority of them sits at $31.2 billion. Both spot and futures volume is at their lowest point year over year. So again, add to this. This trend is trending downwards, and this is a multi-year trending lower. So a bit of caution on there. You're going to start seeing this, I think, in my opinion, crop up on a lot of posts on X, nicknamed Summer Slowdown. And I'm sure this headline is going to be something that you're seeing a lot of. A pinch of salt is needed, because if you zoom out, and you don't have to zoom out that far, look left, we're just 2.6% away from Bitcoin's all-time high. BTC is currently trading at $108,660. So try not to feed into too much negativity. BTC is still in quite a comfortable spot. But again, it's good to note that we are seeing a slowdown in spot volumes and futures volumes as well. If we look at last week, to the ETF side of things, spot Bitcoin ETFs recorded a net inflow of $294 million, led by BlackRock's IBIT with $178 million. And spot Ethereum ETF saw a net inflow of $219 million during the same period, with all 9 funds posting positive flows last week. So incredible, Ethereum being so strong, especially if we compare that on a weekly basis. $294 million into the Bitcoin ETFs and $219 into the Ethereum ETFs. Ethereum is currently trading at $2,561. Not much movement in terms of price. However, I thought an interesting point that a news headline that we brought to you pre-market Monday last week was the fact that BitMine was about to raise money to buy a lot of Ethereum, over $250 million worth of Ethereum, to add it to their treasury. Along with this, they announced that Tom Lee was joining their board to help with the direction of BitMine. And the ticker for BitMine, the actual stock price on the NASDAQ, BMNR, saw a weekly performance of 3,700% from Monday's Friday's close to Monday's, well, I suppose Friday's close as well. Friday's close to
Come on,
Friday's
you got
close.
it, you got it.
Yeah, we should say it that way. It'd be a lot easier, wouldn't it? Of course, with the stock being up over 3,700%, is starting to see some sell pressure as we come in today, although it still sits over 3,000% in gains. So there's no financial advice on this call, obviously, but if you're sat in a once in a lifetime trade, I'll leave that there. But yeah, incredible performance from the BitMine stock there. But again, I mean, as we just mentioned, not much movement in terms of Ethereum spot price. So at what point does this catch wind down to the actual asset that people are buying lots of? We've seen the ETF perform well, spot ETFs as well, so they have to go into the market. They have to buy Ethereum and hold it one for one. Now we're starting to see treasuries for Ethereum crop up, and they're not buying small I think in England we saw a treasury of £1 million for BTC. So, for Ethereum, they're not doing these small amounts. They're coming in really, really large. But yet, this hasn't affected the price movements of Ethereum. So maybe one to keep on the radar. Is this a potential storm, a catalyst to move the price of Ethereum in the future? It's definitely something that we're going to be watching going forward. If we move down the market cap list in no particular order, Solana is trading at $153, XRP at $2.28, and BNB is trading at $662. In terms of those three altcoins, XRP's performed the best out over the last 3 trading days. If we move on to news, Arkham analysts, again, we covered this last week, and in this exact detail, Arkham analysts believe that the transfer of the 80,000 bitcoins by the whale addresses last week may have been related to an upgrade of the address format, that is, the migration from the traditional 1 address to the BC1Q format. There's no signs of selling from these addresses so far. And we did raise this last week, in fact. I mentioned this could just be good housekeeping. You've had a Bitcoin sat in a wallet address for over 14 years. To update the security, you need to move these BTCs into a fresh wallet and comply with the upgrading of the wallet addresses as well. So, doesn't look like they're selling into the market just yet. Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin and a researcher Tony Washter have proposed EIP 7983, which introduces a protocol level cap of 16.7 million gas, around 224 per transaction. The key goal here is to enhance Ethereum security by mitigating denial of service attacks. You might know them as DOS attacks. Improve network scalability, and to make the transaction costs predictable. Currently, a single transaction can consume an entire block's gas limit, potentially causing network congestions or enabling a higher chance of seeing a DOS attack. The cap ensures more even gas distribution across the transactions as well, reducing the risks of these attacks. And also, it should make predictability amongst spikes in gas fees, so you'll be able to predict with a little bit more accuracy the time of days where it's likely to incur higher fees than normal, which will be welcome for people who trade on the Ethereum platform. So moving on, we saw the blockchain group buy another 116 BTC for an average of 10.7 million euros. They now hold 1,904 BTC. It's worth upwards of 172 million euros. In fact, they've increased their holdings over 1,348% year to date. So they're going all in. Yeah, going all in at the blockchain group. You'd expect with the name of your company being called the blockchain group that you start to up your BTC holdings along with the rest of the world. Swedish public company Hilbert Group just announced that they are going to start adding Bitcoin to their treasury. And British public company Cell AI announced their first purchase of 6.1 Bitcoins with the plans to acquire more. Elon announced that his newly formed American party will embrace Bitcoin. And this was, he also criticized fiat currencies as hopeless in a response to a user on X platforms just the other day. This did actually correspond with a price jump in the price of BTC. Toward the upside, however, sold off fairly quickly after that. Kazakhstan to launch a national crypto reserve. We saw Russia's Rostec to issue a ruble-backed stablecoin. The ticker will be RUBX on the Tron network. And Singapore fines 9 banks $21.5 million, over $2.2 billion in money transfers, apparently, because they have banned the banks from participating in digital assets. Jack Dorsey unveils BitChat, a decentralized messaging app that works without internet. It's going to be using the blockchain as well. Go on.
So how surely you need the internet for even accessing like the blockchain and stuff. I don't understand what's going on here.
So it uses Bluetooth Low Energy. It's a mesh network. We actually spoke about this previously.
Yes, I remember
something how that you can send. Yeah, you can send Bitcoin transactions using the Bluetooth Ultra Low Energy mesh networks. So in case your phone dies, you're still able to send a transaction. You do have to set it up. It's not like someone can just walk up to your phone and take your Bitcoin if it's on there.
Yeah.
So there are some security concerns with using the Bluetooth Low Energy network. However, sources claim, and this is from Jack Dorsey, that it's covered by end-to-end encryption and the data is stored locally on the device. This is not your average communication app. While they do have like a multi-hop relay system, the signal extends to up to 300 meters. So you have to be within close proximity of the person that you're messaging, this peer-to-peer system, in order for it to work. It's not like you can sit across, in London, I'm over in Oxford, and we can chat. It's not going to be that. Think about the use cases that BitChat can come into play with. It's all about decentralization. So there's some people saying, "Oh, this would be really good if you're at a rally, if you're at a demonstration for something, or you just really want to keep a close conversation private." The use cases for this are very, very limited. But again, we'll see how this one develops. The application is in beta, so I believe you can sign up to be a beta tester.
Right.
But yeah, I'm sure we'll hear more on this.
And that's just to stress, we are not endorsing you take part in rallies or demonstrations, which seemed to be the angle that Cam was going on.
No, of course not. Of course not. Let's move away quickly from that one. In a controversial move, the Ton Foundation announced a program offering 10-year UAE golden visas for staking $100,000 in Ton coin for 3 years with a $35,000 processing fee. They marketed as a crypto-based alternative to traditional visa programs. It's facilitated through a third-party travel firm called Perivel, not directed by the UAE partnerships. This made headlines quite quickly and spread really, really fast in the crypto system that the UAE authorities, including the ICP and VARA, came out very fast and denied any involvement, warning against unverified offers and dismissed claims about a golden visa. Ton price spiked 13% off the news, but quickly dropped and retraced all that move after the rebuttal coming from the UAE. Just be careful on that one. Ukraine President Zelensky has sanctioned 60 companies aiding Russia's sanctions evasions via crypto, including 55 from Russia and others from Cyprus, Kazakhstan and UAE. The move targets mining, exchanges and payment firms as Ukraine seeks to block Russia's growing use of cryptocurrency channels. And sticking with the theme of Russia launched a national registry of crypto mining equipment to be better identify and regulate electricity use by miners. The system developed by Energy Ministry and Tax Services and the Digital Deployment Ministry has been sent to regions with high mining activity. Registered miners must report earnings and legal entities must be officially listed to operate legally. So just kind of trying to manage their grid system there. Obviously, seeing
Yeah.
quite a lot of miners overload systems, which can be easily done if you're running a large scale mining operation. Metaplanet announced that they acquired an additional 2,205 BTC for approximately $238 million this morning, at an average price of around $108,200 per Bitcoin. The company now holds 15,555 BTC, purchased for roughly $1.5 billion. Their average, which is probably the figure that we all want to pay attention to, is $99.3 thousand. The Shenzhen government of China warned that stablecoins have received widespread attention recently. Some illegal institutions have illegally absorbed funds by using concepts. I'm going to use the exact terms that they use. Concepts such as stablecoins in quotations. I'm pulling a Ryan. Stablecoins and digital assets, all in brackets, and are suspected of illegal fundraising, fraud, money laundering, and other illegal activities. So China trying to crack down there, and this comes after reports last week of a bill basically being sent to the Chinese government to list a stablecoin with the yen. There we go. Say that correctly. During the US stock, we'll ignore that one. During the US stock market closure, X stocks, the stock token trading activities, declined sharply. On July 5th, the on-chain transaction volume of X stocks stock tokens was only around $563,000, down more than 93% from the peak of July 2nd. And it will be an interesting one to see as time goes on how outside market hours trading blends into the traditional pricings, if there's any correlation whatsoever.
Yeah.
As it stands, though, the volumes are quite healthy. So far today, it's $500,000. Tesla seems to be leading the way with the Tesla stock token, which is the ticker TSLAX. With over $400,000 in trading activity, so taking up the larger market share so far today. No doubt this comes into play as Tesla seeing quite a sharp sell-off in pre-market. That is going to be a lot for me today.
Awesome.
Apologies, I don't have a glass of water, and I feel like I really needed that one today.
No, mate, not at all. Awesome as always. Thank you for the update. Yeah, definitely. Listeners, thank you so much for tuning in as well, especially all of you guys that play it back on the playback. Welcome from the past. Whatever you're up to today and tomorrow, keep it tight, stay safe, and we will see you Wednesday for the next crypto update. Perfect. Cool.
See you Wednesday.
Thanks, Cam.